Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we are coming back to DistroWars. And today I want to pin OpenSUSE versus Fedora. Why these two? Well, they're both independent Linux distributions that have a variety of desktop environments available to install. And the one thing I wanted to focus on here today is these are two of the distributions that out of the box support installation via .rpm files. Why is that significant? Because I probably have the worst printer you can possibly have with a Linux computer. I have the Brother HLL2380DW printer/scanner combination. Now, by the way, I've always had very good luck with Brother printers. In fact, it's really not the printer that causes as much problem as it is the scanner. But the Brother company does release Linux drivers, and so RPM is one of the ways we can download them. And so our test is, can one of these or both of these install the drivers to be able to print and scan with the Brother printer HLL2380DW. And then we're, of course, going to look at the basic responsiveness, what applications are installed, and things like that. So to make this a fair competition, of course, OpenSUSE comes in a Tumbleweed, which is rolling, and it comes with a Leap, which is basically an incremental update. Now, Leap is closest to how Fedora runs, and so I went with Leap. Although Tumbleweed probably would have given us more closer package versions because Leap leaps only slightly faster than Debian. Fedora leaps every few months. And so we are going to see some newer versions of software on Fedora. We're just going to have to understand that. I just thought it would be more fair to do the comparison to Leap versus Tumbleweed because it is closer to the model that Fedora uses. So, of course, we are using Leap 15.1. I just downloaded it today. Same thing with Fedora. We are using the latest Fedora workstation, Fedora 31. Again, I just downloaded those today. Now, we are also using we're going to be using the Gnome desktop environment on both of these. And so we are going to have the same desktop for the comparison, although both of these do have a variety of different options. I went with Gnome because it seems to be the default. At least it's the default for Fedora, and it's pretty close to the default for OpenSUSE. So let's go ahead and dive on into OpenSUSE first. Well, this guy is loading up. I love the fact when a Linux distro puts enough in here to give us these wonderful loading animations. Way better than seeing a bunch of lines on your screen, although we can usually get to those by pushing our keys, which I'm not seeing here, but maybe that's just because my mouse may not be captured. But anyway, we'll get in here. Now, the only other thing that we will notice out of the box is I did install Skype. Why? It's the first package I can think of off the top of my head that neither one has installed by default that has a .rpm. I just wanted to make sure, do a a background test to make sure that Skype actually doesn't, or that .rpm files actually install. So Skype, go away. We don't need you. Skype is not installed on either of these. It's just the first package I thought of that has a .rpm version that is not installed on either one of these systems that I could test to make sure that functionality works. So here we are on OpenSUSE. It does automatically full screen inside my virtual machine. Notice that it does auto log you in. I did not select that as an option on the installation. And so needless to say, that would mean that it does do that automatically. You can actually come in, change your account settings, and change that behavior if you wanted to go ahead and do that. You can see I'm not sure why it is not letting me. Well, because I have to unlock it. Duh. There we go. I can auto log out like that. All right. There we are. I'm going to go ahead and log out because there is one more thing I want to check. I am running Fedora on Wayland, on Xorg because Wayland is very slow in a virtual machine. I just want to make sure that I'm giving them both the same experience. So I'm going to run both of these on Xorg. Now, as far as the software, like we said, we are having older versions. Oh, Skype, go away. Nobody likes you. Microsoft killed you, man. We liked you before Microsoft got its dirty little mitts all over you. All right, so let's see. If we come on down to our details, you'll see that we are running GNOME 3.26, which is actually quite old. This is once again because OpenSUSE Leap's pretty slow. But regardless, as far as applications installed, we do get Evolution. Oh, a distro after my own heart. I love Evolution. We have LibreOffice installed. We have GIMP, Firefox, and then just some basic GNOME applications. Let's see if we actually have tweaks installed. We do actually have GNOME tweaks installed on default, which is a very good thing. We also, let's see, we at least have, we don't have the minimize, but we do have the close button on the box. So it looks like this is going to be very similar layout as the Fedora gets us. Now, where your OpenSUSE is going to be a little bit different. So this one uses the zipper package manager, but it also has in it, YAST. YAST is a kind of a great GUI way to, it's like a sort of half GUI way to manage your system. What I like about it is OpenSUSE for me is definitely a great distro to learn how Linux works under the hood, because we have a lot of things down here, but each of these guys, while they look pretty good and easy, each one of these things actually it feels more like a hybrid between a GUI and actually having to configure your system. I like OpenSUSE for learning Linux a little bit more. So of course, let's go ahead and come into our printers real quick. Let's see if out of the box, if this thing can actually spot the printer that I have. Let's see if I can just go ahead and figure out how to get a printer added. In full disclosure, I have not tried this yet, so we'll see what happens. So let's see, it's trying to find something here. Let's see, no matching drivers. Let's see, connections, no matching drivers. HP setup. So apparently it's not. I have no idea if I'm even going to be able to figure out how to get a printer installed on this without figuring out. This might be a bomb of a video. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and head on to Brother's website and let's download the drivers and let's go ahead and see if we can get it installed like that. So let's do Brother printer drivers. HLL2380DW. Downloads for my printer. We're only getting these directly from this. Notice we have RPM and .deb. Of course, this works perfectly. Downloading the .deb works perfectly on various Ubuntus. We have a driver install tool, or we have individual drivers. We want to test both functions. Let's go ahead and download the tool. Let's go ahead and agree to sign over our life for this. So now it's going to, let's go ahead and save the file, probably saving in the downloads. And then they do give us very nice instructions over here. That's so glorious. I don't even have to think about it. Then boot up a terminal and probably going to be, not desktop, probably going to be on downloads. Let's see. Yes, there it is. And so we're just going to go ahead and unzip. All right, so we are unzipped. Now we're going to, let's just go ahead and do the password there. All right, now we are in downloads as a super user. Let's go ahead and bash the file. And now we are to our setup mode. So HL-L2380DW. Installing these packages, which is going to be the print drivers, the cups wrapper, and the scan drivers. Yes, that's okay. Yes, I have already agreed to hand over my soul. Yes, you can have my firstborn child as well. Just an FYI, guys, I have actually read those. All right, okay. Will you specify the URI device? Oh, this is the part I can't remember. Let's see. Okay. Let's say, I think I need to do yes on this one. Give it a second. And this is, I believe, for the printer. Let's see. Okay, I think I need the IP address. I locked this on an IP address. Let's see. 92.168.5. I think it's 141. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can have my child too. Why not? Now it's installing some other drivers. I might have been wrong on that IP address, just an FYI. Oh, now it's downloading repository info for Skype. Yeah, whatever. All right, let's go ahead, reject the key or temporarily trust it. Let's just go with always because this thing's going to be burnt soon anyway. And let's see. All right. Let's go ahead and we shouldn't have to go in and out. Let's find our settings. See if I can find printers in here. Look at that. See if it prints. Give it a second, see if we get some sound. Uh-oh, I don't hear any sound. It says it's tested completely. So we do fail to get the printer set up on OpenSUSE. Let's see if, do we have a scan utilities? We have a simple scan utility. It'll either start to scan or we're going to get an error that says it can't. Ooh, it's scanning. Yeah, look at that. RMRF no preserve root contributor code of conduct. Hashtag save Linux. All right. Yeah, I threw a mouse pad in there. So the scanner works. Printer, not so much. Let's go ahead and load up something. Whoa. LibreOffice turned gay, yo. Why? Is that an OpenSUSE thing? Somebody let me know in the comments. Yeah, that's terrifying. I've been doing a lot of things with LibreOffice in the last week. That's the first time I've seen that. All right, let's go ahead and try doing a test print from here. Are you going to print, sir? Are you going to print? Okay, so apparently it is not functioning on the printer, and I'm not sure exactly why. I've done this enough. I'm trying to, let me look at this screen again, see if there's anything I'm missing. I don't think that's the case. I've always specified the IP address. So yeah, okay, the good news is RPM packages are going to work. I'm not able to get my printer functioning. Everything else on here seems pretty good, although I'm very, very curious about the what's up with LibreOffice on Leap. Other than that, OpenSUSE is great. It has YAST. We have kernel settings. And let's see, we have a bootloader application. There's just so many different tools on here. So OpenSUSE definitely is excellent for doing any adjustments that you might need to do. So if you're needing to make sure that you always have more, better, easier control of your system, OpenSUSE might be the better option for you. Let's go ahead and close out of OpenSUSE, though, and we will boot into Fedora next and see if we can actually get the printers working on Fedora. All right, so here we are on Fedora. Let's get logged in here. Of course, let me just double check, make sure I'm still on Xorg, because I had a much better experience. And whoa. So here we are on Fedora. So what we get with Fedora is the first thing we're going to notice is our software version, at least for our GNOME version, is going to be a lot newer. No Skype, go away. You suck. So our GNOME version here on Fedora is 3.34. So quite a bit newer, although it was lagging out still quite a bit on, it was lagging out quite a bit more on, what was I on with, Wayland, but that's probably just due to the virtual machine. No big deal there. Applications installed by default, really much the same. We have a document scanner, our LibreOffice. Hey, look at that. Our LibreOffice is normal in this. Fedora gets my win. I was told in the comments that it likely was intentionally changed to be that color for reasons I do not want to get onto on this channel right now. But everything else is pretty much the same. This very similar applications. Of course, one of your major differences here on Fedora is that we don't have YAST, so we don't have quite as many tools to fix things if things go wrong. You can still get on and figure out how to get things fixed in the terminal. No real big deal. The other thing I actually want to point out here in Fedora, that Fedora used to be a lot more difficult to install third-party repos and things like this. There used to be steps of like 25 things you have to do after you install Fedora to actually make the thing usable. They really have fixed all that a few versions ago. Now we get this nice pop-up. Do you want to enable the third-party repositories? You can come into your software repositories button and turn on RPM Fusion right from in here, so you don't have to manually go find the code and add them in the terminal anymore. So everything is actually going to work much nicer. Of course, this is why I absolutely hate the Gnome Software Center. It is so slow. So you can see here, if you want to install Google Chrome, you can toggle this guy, turn it on. RPM Fusion for NVIDIA drivers, for Steam drivers, anything else that we might need, you can actually do that very quickly from within here now. Very nice. Of course, there are a lot of updates there, just because I downloaded this and, it's came out a few months yet. Looks like the LibreOffice version is perilously close to the one on OpenSUSE, so that's actually going to be fine. Of course, we did see that Skype is working, ergo installing via RPM will work. Now let's go ahead and back to our brother drivers and download those and see if we can get the printer and scanner working in Fedora. This is actually a fun little challenge. Can I get the scanner working on these without fighting it? I mean, yeah, I could get it working on other things as well, but without fighting with it is a good thing, because if you have not followed my channel for a long time, I'm not a hardcore Linux geek. I'm a person that needs to get real work done using Linux. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. So one of the key functions, you bring home your nice new printer, how easy it is to get it installed on your system. So here we have RPM. We're going to go ahead and download this. And now again, printer drivers, scanner drivers, we're just going to download the installation tool, sign over the property of our firstborn child, and boot up a terminal. Let's go ahead and save you. Let's go to our downloads folder. Hey, there it is. It looks like it is done. Unzip our drivers. Let's go into here and let's bash our file and entering our name. L2380DW. Yes, we will. Yes, you may have my firstborn child. Oh, you want my secondborn too? All right, you can have it, I guess. Hate that kid anyway. All right, so I'm kidding. Geesh, don't just keep your hand away from that unsub button. All right, so let's going ahead and doing its thing here. You can see it's installing some extra things that it needs. And then we're going to be grabbing the files, and hopefully we will have a functioning system. Is it going to be updating everything? Don't update the whole system, computer. We don't have time for that. It is definitely taking longer to install. But if we get a functioning printer out of the end, that's good. Yes, we're going to specify be 12 on the IP address, right? Specify the IP address. Ooh, it's printing. I think it's printing. It kicked on. Oh, we got a print page. Hold on. Let me just go ahead and do a document scanner and see if the scanner functions. Ooh, yeah, look at that. And we actually got 3 printer test pages? Yeah, I got 3 of them. Let's examine these printer test pages and see if maybe something got stuck. All right, so this first one was 1955. Second one was 1956. And third one is 1958. So that would actually be all 3 test prints that we did on this computer. So we did not get any test printing working on OpenSUSE. We were able to get them all working on Fedora. So as far as our actual test here, bringing home a printer, running the driver installation according to your instructions on the manufacturer's website, Fedora actually did perform better. We got a functioning printer, functioning scanner without having to fight with anything. I did just need to go back in and re-specify the IP address, which I probably should have done the first time anyway. But anyway, now we have the functioning printer working. Both systems otherwise are pretty much more equivalent. If you need more control to granularly fix things in a GUI, OpenSUSE is probably going to be a better choice for you. If you need things up and running better and faster, Fedora is probably going to be a better thing for you. And then, of course, if you take a strong stance against identity politics, maybe go with Fedora. That's apparently what people were telling me in the comments as we were recording this. So anyway, there is the conclusion of the distro wars, OpenSUSE versus Fedora. We actually had an objective target to reach, and Fedora got to our target. OpenSUSE did not. Better luck next time, OpenSUSE, but let me know your thoughts about this. Was this a valid comparison or not? Let me know in the comments down below.